Very good morning, everyone. First of all, thanks Rishi and his team for this invite. It's really a great pleasure for me to be here for the inaugural the summit which you have curated, and I'm sure you will hit not only the 10th year, but maybe you will set a legacy where you will have a great team followers who will take it to the 100th years. Yeah, and wish you all the success, and I'm sure you will inspire many more to come up with many more initiatives to develop sports in India. Uh, uh, I don't know what I'll be speaking. I have not kind of come with any rehearsal, but what I can say is that it is the best moment for sports in India. If you are thinking of sports, then it's the right time to invest your energy, your passion, your time, and if you have resources, then also you put into it. Because we all know that we had a record medal haul in the last Asian Games with 107 medals, previously 7 Olympic medals, and then our Honorable Prime Minister already announced that India is going to bid for 2036 Olympics. Yeah, you know, we, when we started investing our energy, I can say, my energy, my passion into football, I never thought that, the day will come where we will be even thinking, discussing to host Olympics. So therefore, that's the aspiration we have in India today, that we want to be the best in the world. Therefore, we need to do everything in the best possible way to be the superpower in the world. Therefore, sports cannot be left aside. We need to take along sports, and as Rishi mentioned, 57% of Indian population is consuming sport or following sports some or the other way. And I'm sure this number is going to grow as we progress. Yeah, we now to a 3 trillion economy. How we can reach to the 5 trillion to that record maybe of 30 trillion and plus. Yeah, and if we will be alive to see that those days when we will be shining not only at the Olympics but also all other sports, and the sport which I love the most and the sport which for I live. That's football. Yeah. What I can say is that football is the fastest growing sports in India, and the participation number is quite encouraging. It's growing in a 3-digit year on year. What we need is the right structure, right system, and right governance model to bring everyone together and strike gold in football. We have dedicated youngsters. We have recently seen when India hosted Qatar in Bhubaneswar. That's one government, Odisha government, inspiring, encouraging the whole of India what should be done to take sports to the next level. So we were lucky that they hosted India versus Qatar World Cup qualification game after we had a record win against Kuwait in our first World Cup qualification for 2026. That with 13,000 spectators, we could see that the kind of energy, the passion they brought in and encouraged the whole set of players, and they did their best. But Qatar, being the Asian champion, they won the match 3-0. But then definitely the day will come, we will be the Asian champion once again. We were the champions in 1951, 1962. The last success we had at the Asian level was 1974 when we won the Youth Cup along with Iran as a joint winner. That was our last biggest achievement as far as podium finish is concerned in football. But the days will come back I'm sure, because we have the talent, we have the, the brightest human resource. What we need is, we need to bring together everyone, and we need to mine in the right way. We saw yesterday what those manual miners did and rescue those 41 miners who were the workers. We have seen that it needs courage. We have the skill set. The machines could not do. The human skills did it. So therefore, what it demonstrates that in every 1,000 square kilometer, we might have Messis, we might have Ronaldos, we might have Maradonas, but then we haven't set the pipeline for them to reach to the top. And that is what we need to invest in. We need to be honest about what we do. A lot of people we meet, they say, we are encouraged by sports, we want to be part of sport, we want to invest in sports, but then we set, our own pipelines. That has no conversion happening. Everyone is working in different directions. So we need to bring everyone together to one platform, to one line, to one goal, to one vision, so that we achieve what the potential we always talk about. We have now Vision 2047. It never happened in Indian football history, but then on 7th January, All India Football Federation launched Vision 2047, by which every aspect, the 11 elements of sport, of football, has been set, where we want to be by 26 and by 2047. I'm sure the management of All India Football Federation will make sure that we have the right capacity, we have the right system, the right structure, right processes to take Indian football to that level. That maybe what we have envisioned at that time was to be top 4 in Asia by 2047. Various milestones have been set, and through the journey, we will definitely be in the World Cup. But most important thing is not to be in the World Cup, but when we are there on that platform, what we do, how we exhibit our game, whether we are competitive or not. So therefore, in football in India, we have miles to travel. But then, the good thing is that more and more people is investing into the game. More and more people are believing in the game. More and more people are playing the game. More and more people are watching the game. More and more people are investing in the game. So that's the beauty. That's the progress we are making. What we need to make sure is that we have to have the strong pyramid. From the foundation to the top, to the elite level, to the professional level, we have to create a strong pyramid. We need to create the right pillars. If you have to create the strong team which going to represent India in the World Cup in the times to come, we need to be seen as a competitive team. Football is extremely competitive game. 211 member associations plays football. More than 185 countries participate in the World Cup qualification games. So now, with the 2026, we will have 48 teams playing in the World Cup. That is 16 more than the Qatar, what we saw. But then, the gaps are narrowing. What we saw is, the Japan beating Germany, not once, twice. Yeah? And that's the progress the Asia is also making. Therefore, our competitors, those who are above us, those who are below us, they're also working hard. And we need to see that how we can find those diamonds, and we should also know the art of polishing them. Who polishes them? You need the right coaches. We have around 12,000 coaches in India. for 1.5 billion people, which cannot, we need 100,000 coaches. We need 300,000 coaches by 2047 to manage that many number of children which will play football. Because what we targeted at that time was 100 million children to play football by 2047. And that across the pyramid, we need 300,000 coaches. So and it is not about numbers, it is also about quality. How good quality coaches we can produce. We need elite coaches. We need those smart coaches who are tech savvy, who are modern, who are thinking out of the box. Yeah? And we are not doing something which the best are not doing. So therefore, if we keep doing what we have done for last 70 odd years, we will get the same result. And the change is very important. To transform football, we need to have complete transformative philosophies, policies. We need to have the complete DNA of players. What is the level of players we need to produce? We need to know, the benchmarking. It's a lot of work need to be done. If you ask me, a state like UP, where 200 million people, how many plays football, we don't know. That's a fact. And we are the number one in technology in the world. So therefore, that much backward we are in terms of the facts, in terms of the data. So therefore, a lot needs to be done. Yeah? And we need, thousands, millions soldiers for football. Because that's one sport which is called beautiful game, can change the country for the best. And it can be the biggest soft power India can have, because this one sport can connect to the world easily than any other sport or any other medium. We can win the minds, the hearts of the people by football, through football, because that's the sport one easily connects. 4.5 billion people of this universe are directly or indirectly part of football. So that's the force of football we need India to marry. Not because of anything else, because we are aspiring to be the number one in the world in every aspect, whatever we do. Therefore, football can be the right fit for India, because it is not an expensive sport. One ball can engage even, at a time 40 players. You need not to worry about the cost. You need not to have a ball itself. You just, some whatever waste material you can create the ball. What you can see in Africa, those talents, those diamonds are mined from there. They get their passport, their visa, and then they come back and they support hundreds, thousands to dream big. And we have, bigger potential than African countries. But then we need to put the right mind, right resources, and with all honesty, and we need to think long term. We cannot be in a situation to think that we are going to set a factory or a lab which will produce identical products. No. Football requires, 10,000 hours, what we all know, to get to the perfection of something or to get to a skill level. But then it is a 15-year cycle. Yeah? And it requires more than 10,000 hours, I can say with guarantee, because you cannot, 10,000 hours is just you can produce an average player. But then to be proficient, to be the best, you need to have another 3,000 to 4,000 hours extra I need to add. And that is where we will be competing. And we have to find a global star, like what Egypt has got in terms of Mohamed Salah. He can be, Mohamed Salah is the biggest star of Egypt and Africa today. Why? Because he does what he does on the pitch. And that is what we can also. We don't have to first identify Messi's or Ronaldo's. Let's identify those Mohamed Salahs. We have in plenty. But then, let's work together. Whichever don't think of, you have to be in a position to influence, to do things. You can be an ordinary person, but still you can do. And that's the power of sport. And that is where you can change. So first influence your family, your friends, and then try to build your community. And then try to be a force to change. Because change is not easy. The change are sometimes casualties. We keep hearing, keep reading. And when the change becomes the casualty, then nothing changes. Therefore, we need to have the willpower and determination to fight, because nothing comes easy. And sport, there are resistance, there are legacies, but then how we come together, build a community, and the platform what Rishi has created may become the biggest community I trust that will become a power of and a voice for football in India. That's the vision we need to work. So therefore, we as an individual don't think that you need to own a club, you need to be the president or a secretary of any association, but then if you have the will, you have the power. And that power can change anything, everything what you want. But then you cannot determine the time. The time is your hard work, your determination, your focus, your integrity, your honesty, and bringing people together and working as a team. And you will be the leader, and you will be inspiring others. And therefore, what I have to also touch on the women's football part. The women's football definitely also has a huge, huge opportunity in India, because we are ranked lower compared to, ranked higher, better ranked than the men's football. What we need is, creating more opportunities for women's in football. And for the first time, there will be a proper league with 7 teams this season, the Indian Women's League. And I'm sure that would create more opportunities for women to come forward and be part of the game. So we need women's across. We need more girls to play the game at the grassroots level. We need more women to be coaches, referees, and also take the leadership role, because very few are coming forward. We can't fault women, but we as men, we need to encourage more women to be part of the game, because it is 50-50. And we have experienced in Australia the last World Cup. Though Spain won the World Cup, but then we have seen the qualitative difference in terms of the last World Cup. It has reached to a level where there is no difference between what you see in the men's game and the women's game. In Australia, when Australia played England, the semi-final match was in the Australia's history, that was the biggest viewed TV program in their history. It was not like cricket. It was the biggest, any TV program. That's the record. Australia is a sporting country, and they went all out to support the women. And it has demonstrated that the power of women's football. And for the first time, FIFA had a revenue of more than 500 million for the first time in women's football. Therefore, otherwise, the women's World Cup was supported by the men's World Cup revenue. So therefore, there's a huge, huge opportunity for people to also invest in women's football, because it has a great future. And I'm sure, the whole ecosystem for business of football is only going to go up, because there will be more opportunities across. Because the digitization aspect, India can set a lot of examples. India can create technologies which is economical, which can be competitive, which can create more business opportunities. Because we see the data analytics, you can't really do anything without that today. Any decision, you need data. And that is where we need to think. And that is where the investment opportunities are going to be there. The digitization aspect in sports in India is at the infancy stage. There is nothing which I have come across which has, like opened my eyes to see, oh, this is good, this is where we need. But in football, this is where the opportunity also there. And then the whole training aspect, the infrastructure aspect. We have one of the, what you say is that at the urban locations, very few facilities we have where the kids can go and play football. And it has become so commercialized that those real talent cannot afford to go. And those are the challenges. So therefore, what we need is collaboration. Collaboration with the institutions, those owns those facilities, those playgrounds. And we need to force the government to come up with certain policy that how best these lands can be used for children to play. Because play is a natural phenomenon for children. And today, with our screen time, our play time is reducing, which is going to be catastrophic for a country like India, because we need more productive people. And productive people can only come when they move their limbs. If they move their only brains, and the limbs stops working, then you will become the liability for the country. We can't afford that because we have so many people. Our health budget cannot go up. Our health budget have to be cut down, and that need to be invested into the play fields. And schools need to see that they play every day more. I have two daughters, and my younger daughter always complains that the teachers, even in the sports period, they spend only 10 minutes outdoor and 30 minutes indoor talking. I say it's criminal. And 7 years can understand. And that is where the children originality is to move, play. But what we do is we restrict their movement. And they cannot grow. They cannot think laterally. They cannot think out of the box. And the schools need to build that foundation. School is not for, just mugging up, just scoring those 90 plus, and doesn't have any value. So therefore, if you have more sports, if you have more movements within the school, outside the school, then we will have a community. We will be much more productive. Where Mr. Murthy has said 70 hours of work in a week. I think if we all can play, if the children can play, they will dedicate themselves to maybe 80 hours, maybe 100 hours of work, because they will feel that energy there. And yeah, there are so many things, but the good thing is we are progressing. Let's work together. Let's encourage each other to be part of sport and be sports, and nothing better than sports in life, because you will always be positive. You always know the failures, because if you haven't failed in the life, because you fail every day, every moment, if you are playing some sport. You lose some battle, you win some battle. If you are if you're not playing cricket, say cricket, once you are out, you are out. But in football, a dribbler, attacker can dribble past you, score 10 times, but still you are in the game, you have another chance to defend, another chance to improve, another chance to introspect. You can really come back. That's the sports teaches you how to manage failure. And if you haven't managed failure, you cannot be successful. You cannot grow. You cannot inspire. And that's where the life is. And the sports gives you that moment where you don't need a psychologist, you don't need a counselor, because you will know that this is how I'll be able to come back and do well and be successful. And that's what, thanks again, Rishi. I wish you all the success, and those who are here today, I'm sure you will devote your time, energy, and passion, whatever you have got for sports, and do well. And I'm sure you will be able to inspire 1.5 billion of Indians to be part of sport, and so that they become healthy and can build a nation which can really become real superpower and demonstrate the power of sports in Olympics, in World Cups, and we will be celebrating together like we have seen what Cricket World Cup has done for the country. We lost the last match, but then what we have done, incredible. For incredible India, that was an incredible performances by our cricketers. They inspired. And like Neeraj Chopra, what he has done, we are inspired. And I'm sure football will be moving forward in that direction and will bring the 1.5 billion together so that the world will see that India is really an emerging power in football. Because I want to help to grow the community of sports enthusiasts, and we work as community to grow sport, to see our nation shining across the world. Thank you.